Oh shit, there we go.
Oh man, as the multiverse aligns, new mutated enhanced being of my kind. I rhyme to an iron heartbeat of Eddie Kane, the conqueror with the thought of Xavier's peace of mind. Look, match crafting a well written in Hell's Kitchen, being blind, dare to see your Sky Summers eye to eye. Miles ahead, web slinging a line in this age of Voltron. You ain't even inclined. The real McCoy, your beast with mine. I'm from Sakar, barely age. I've increased the time. Fantastic as a force field formed by Sue. It's the arrival of MRVL of the Minds. It's been due. Go.
All right, first and foremost, what up, though? It's MRVL of the Minds. I'm Nametag Alexander. Of course, we got my co-host going on. Peace of mind. What's going on with you, good sir?
What up, bruv?
Y'all know why we here. We back at it kind of earlier than normal. You know what I mean? But right on time for the most part. We are here. I'm tongue tied like a mug. We are here to discuss episodes 5 and 6. They surprised me. Daredevil Born Again. Episode 5 being titled With Interest. Episode 6 being titled Excessive Force, and we know why. Clever play on why they called it With Interest. We'll get on that in a second. But yeah, man. And you know, when y'all listening to this episode, or if y'all watching the stream on YouTube, make sure y'all tap that link in the description of the episode or the show itself. And be sure to order you some merch. Shop with Leading Be Legendary. It will be in the description of the show. Only time I'm gonna say it, maybe again at the end. But listen, man, we here. Let's get right into it. We're gonna get with a quick recap of episode 5 titled With Interest. It says, set against the backdrop of St. Patrick's Day, the standalone episode sees Matt I just noticed that they put this standalone episode. Interesting. Sees Matt Murdock thwarting a bank heist. They use the word thwarted. Orchestrated by Irish criminals led by Devlin. During the robbery, Matt encounters Yusuf Khan, our guy, Miss Marvel's dad, the assistant bank manager, and as it says, father of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Am I saying her name right? Because you know that was a thing, like mispronouncing when it came to vice president at the time, Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and I think that's why I mispronounce Harris's name all the time, is because I'm so used to, like, I'm, more centered on Miss Marvel,
Yeah, I was saying it that way. I'm like, never mind. I might just stay away from it. It's kind of confusing, but utilizing his heightened senses, Daredevil intervenes to protect the hostages and prevent the theft of a valuable diamond. So it's called a diamond, they say, right? The episode concludes with a clever twist, a twist indeed, involving the diamond's concealment in a candy bowl. While it doesn't significantly advance the overarching plot, this lighter, self-contained story offers a refreshing change of pace and subtle MCU connectivity. Peace. What you rating this episode, man? What's our? We gonna go into, for those of y'all, if y'all tuning in for the first time, what we've been doing, we originally just would say your Infinity Stone rating. Obviously, as y'all know, if y'all are MCU fans or just fans of the comics, you know there are 6 Infinity Stones, and this is how we rate our episodes of TV shows and how we rate movies. So the segment, cleverly as Peace of Mind titles it, Run the Stones. What you giving it, man, out of 6?
I'm gonna give this one a 5 stones. It I mean, the fact that it was standalone, it didn't do too much for the story, though that's to be seen. It was good. Like, I like that, Papa Khan was the bank manager in there. Like, as soon as he popped up on the screen, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, is that Miss Marvel's dad? And Jess was like, no, is it? Yep.
Yeah,
like, that was cool.
And I kept looking. Once he mentioned her, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
With that being said, I'm gonna have to give it a smooth 4, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a smooth 4 because of the reason that I recognize that I wasn't mad at it being a standalone episode. It definitely gave me the Inside Man vibes from the Spike Lee film with Denzel Washington. I definitely got that.
Oh yeah.
I did. I thought it was dope, but at the same time, I was like, Yusuf Khan being the bank manager, huh? Y'all, Y'all trying to force like the connectivity to the. I get it. We hear this is
No,
what
and I
Daredevil
mean,
is.
I don't think that was necessarily forced. Like it didn't seem out of place. Like if you think about it,
I
like
wasn't mad at it,
people
but
are
at the
gonna
same
be out
time,
and about.
it just
In the
like the comics.
MCU.
And just
Yeah,
like in the comics
exactly.
you have from the ones I recall and researched on, you got people that pop up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's almost
yeah,
like in a Daredevil comic or whatever, right? And Thor shows up. Thor's not
right,
of that world, but oh
right.
shit, Thor. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna stay on 4. I'm fresh off
Okay.
seeing it today, so I just was like, I now we're gonna get into that in a second. But yeah, 4, man. It was a great standalone episode to me, but I'm like, we only got 9 of these. Let's
Yeah.
stay with it. You know what I'm saying?
4, it's still respectful.
Still
It's
not
still
bad.
good. It's
When
on
we,
the heavier side of stones.
when we teeter in that 1 and 2 area, then it's like, oh damn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the Agatha episodes. But
Yeah. Did I even give I think there was one that I either gave 1 or no stones.
I think you gave it one of those episodes
Yeah.
1 because I feel
Yeah.
like we danced in like the 3 range, 4
Mhm.
maybe. Dang, here we showing that show prop. Technically, it's giving that show props again. but
Mhm.
all right. So we also get into what was our least favorite scene of the episode, and also our most like scene. What would you give your most like scene? This we gotta come up with a segment title for that too. But what would you give
Yeah.
the most like scene? We still fresh with this, y'all. So we know.
Um Most liked, I mean nothing really crazily stands out. I did enjoy the no. I have my favorite scene. After when he was cracking the safe and after he cracked it, he was like, I thought something about you're a
I thought he was
lawyer.
blind,
He's
and he
like
was a lawyer and all that shit. Yeah.
a really good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I was
like how
like,
you do that. Like,
yes.
yeah, I'm more than what y'all think. But when he
Yeah.
said that, I knew. I said he's suiting up. He's suiting up
Hmm.
soon. It may not be this. It was close. It was close.
Hey, and it was
You know what
way
I'm saying?
sooner than I thought it was gonna happen too. You
Yeah,
know?
it was very close. I would say my
Yeah.
favorite scene. I'm shocked you didn't say it. We chased down Devlin, dog, and beat
That
the
was good.
brakes off of him. You
That
know
was
what I'm
good.
saying? I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
and then went and grabbed the red. I ain't got my
Mhm.
suit, but I'm about to mask up or whatever. Which I'm like,
Yeah.
did he? Because he didn't kill him, so I'm like, oh, maybe that's why he masked up. Because I'm like, he didn't have to throw nothing on the cover. He could just
Right.
beat the brakes off of him as Matt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Least like scene, like what's the least favorite scene of this episode?
Mm, was there any flashes over to Fisk and Vanessa in this episode?
I don't recall. I don't
I don't
recall.
think there was. Okay, I was
I
gonna
don't
say that's
recall.
usually my cop out.
Right?
Uh,
Like as any episode, if it includes them.
mm,
Like nope.
Least favorite. I can't really say that there was nothing that really stood out that made me like, oh, come on. Like another one, not to go back to most liked, but the joke scene where he was like, "Tell me a joke," and
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
Disney fucking Plus, they're like, "Oh, just fuck the penguin." I was like, "What, yo?"
Man, I thought that shit was kind of wild. I peeped that too. I looked up again. I had to rewind it. I was like, wait, what? So
Yeah.
then it's funny because before we started recording for this series, I was like I said, man, I'm calling it early. This could potentially be just as good as or better than the Penguin. So far, to me, it's not.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because did you ever watch? Did you end up watching it? Because I remember you saying you was gonna get around to
I
it.
honestly never finished the penguin. Like, I
God
think
damn
I
it!
made it to episode maybe 4,
What a shame! What a
5,
shame!
something like that. I mean, it
Best.
was good, but like, I don't. At least the 4 that I watched, like it was good. Like I was watching it, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh, this is the most incredible superhero show or slash show I've seen in
It's
recent
one of
years.
those TV series where I would want to go back later and skim through it to see like
Mm,
it was great. I will say that it was great. It was to
mm,
me the better of that year of 2024. You know what I'm saying? When it was out, like, I can't think of much as far as in that comic book world because in the comic book world in 2024, because X-Men 97 was that also 2024? Because they was
Yeah.
dropping episodes in like May. Okay,
And
but
then,
that's
wait,
animated though too.
when was the final season of Loki?
That was 2023.
Was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for shows, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to give it to the Penguin on that one, but I would want to go back and be like, dang, was it, or were we just, that was one of them joints where the time, I like when you see the timeline talking about it and it's nothing that people rarely watch. I'm like, oh, I'm seeing people talk about it that ain't in that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, they got something here. They got something here. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just it did like how
Did you watch
Paradise did.
did you watch Grotesquerie?
Nah, what's that?
Check that out.
I believe, because you said you
Check
mentioned
that out.
Paradise before. You're like, yo, this show called Paradise. Normally,
Yeah.
we mainly in the chat, we talking about like MCU, all that shit or whatever. And one day you was like, hey man, this is a show called Paradise.
Yeah.
Walking that mug blind and seeing it, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, got you, bet. And I did. And it was,
Grotesquerie is
man,
I would say Grotesquerie is another one. It keeps having you like, what the fuck? And then at one point you're like, no, like reality is just
I gotta
like
peep.
gone.
I'm gonna have
Like
to
it's
peep.
wild.
I definitely
Yeah.
gotta peep. Man, my least like scene, it's tough because I don't know if it was per se like a scene. Well, no. Yes, it was. I ain't care too much for like the exchange between the cop that was negotiating, or I guess you would call it a negotiator, that was
Angie Kim?
outside the bank. Yeah. And going back
Yeah.
and forth with, Devlin or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool, man, let's get it. I ain't really favor that too much. If not that, then I would probably have to say maybe just the references that Yusef kept making towards Ms. Marvel. And I was like, all right, man, we get it, man. We know you. I think that was for like people that didn't watch Ms. Marvel probably or saw the Marvels movie. And they just was like, yo, we got to let y'all know he's somebody who's already, they got a show out already. You know what I mean? I was
To
like,
be fair though, like think of it like this. If your kid was a superhero that had powers
oh,
like Miss Marvel and
I'm bragging.
she was brought up, dude, you'd be talking
I'm
about
bragging.
her
I'm
being
bragging.
Miss Marvel every second.
I'm bragging. But yeah, I was like,
Exactly. Like
but
so
I'm
I'd say
on
that's kind of realistic.
in that land, yeah. But I'm saying for the show, I'm
And
like, mhm.
that's like stuff like that is on brand for her dad. Like he is that
That's
kind of
true.
guy that is like he's like that.
He like the goofy, that corny dad, because he remember in the show he was dressed up like
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk and everything. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking on it on a more technical, like this is Disney and Marvel trying to say, hey, look, y'all, it's another property y'all might want to go check out, Ms.
Yeah, well,
Marvel.
I mean,
Like,
of course they're doing that and they're solidifying, Daredevil's place in the
yeah.
MCU, but I also think they're sticking on brand with his character. Like
Now let me
having him
say,
in there in the first place, yeah, of course.
now
But,
what about, and we gotta get to 6 too, but also I don't want to lose my train of thought. Do you think like by this episode, maybe this was a part of the original line of story that wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like this felt
I
like
could
more so one of
definitely,
those.
absolutely, seeing
Mhm.
as it didn't really push the story along, though they may find a way to work it in just small
Yeah,
here. Well, no, they already did. Like they
because
talked
they
about the
do,
bank heist or whatever.
yeah,
So
and
it
they
was
do
nothing
like the.
consequential. So yeah, I definitely feel like
What do
that
you
this
think
could be
about
one of the.
the whole thing with the stone at the end? Like, what was that like? Was that supposed to be like, look, y'all, it ain't over. Infinity Stone. Like, was that supposed to be one of the Infinity Stones, the Mind Stone
When
or the
I
Soul
first saw
Stone?
it,
Or
I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not an Infinity Stone, is it? No, it can't be.
it
That's
looked
not a
like
stone."
a piece of Werther's candy, like
Yeah,
the old
yeah,
candy heavy. That's what it looked
yeah.
like. All right, man. So then, like I say, we talked about the highlight of it where he beat the brakes off Devlin and did that flying kick and like snapped the shit out of his leg. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
At first, it happened so quick. I was like, damn, what the fuck? I rewinded. It was like, oh shit. Then he boom kicked him dead in the face, and it was like that was it. It was over for her. I was like, oh
Yep.
shit, man. That was like this the Daredevil we know. We talk about
Yep.
episode 6, man. It's titled Excessive Force. Quick recap on that. It says, returning to the main narrative, this episode introduces a new antagonist, Muse. Well, I guess he knew. We kind of knew he was a part of the show, but
Yeah.
Muse, a serial killer who creates art using his victim's blood. Daredevil dons his iconic red suit. As I said, remember I kept saying it was going to be episode 5, but it was episode 6 where they brought the suit back. Because remember I kept saying, oh, yo, they show screenshots of this new episode. They threw me off. It was 6, not 5. Daredevil dons his iconic red suit to rescue Angela, the niece of Hector Ayala, formerly the vigilante White Tiger, from Muse's clutches. Concurrently, Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, now mayor, exploits the city's fear by proposing an anti-vigilante task force aiming to undermine public trust in law enforcement. Yeah, that's I just we'll get into that in a second. This episode delves into themes of justice and manipulation, highlighting the escalating conflict between Daredevil and Fisk. Yeah, because wasn't he basically telling the cops, like, do your job or something like that? Because basically like, yo, we need more of us out there, pretty much. He like, this is what y'all do, like, do your job, whatever. And in a sense, to me, I thought that was kind of conflicting, because it's like, well, this is where needing vigilantes may come into play. There's a lot of crime going on. Clearly, the vigilantes is fighting against that. Technically, in some weird way, Fisk could be a vigilante. His whole thing is, I'm fighting for the city to be better. It was like he just doing some grimy shit behind the scenes, but he hate the folks that's trying to do what he trying to do, clean up the city. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but what do you rate it overall out of 6 Infinity Stones? Run the Stones.
6.
Give it a 6.
Easily.
I'm with you, dog. I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6. Fresh off it, not like seeing a standalone episode, then to this, I was like, I was a little glued. Now there were some scenes with Fisk and Vanessa. I'm like, but it ain't bothering me too much. But I thought it was dope, man. Now we get it out the way with the least like scene. Did you have one? I think by default we
Vanessa.
Fisk and Vanessa every time.
Yeah,
every time. That they don't got bad chemistry on camera. It just be super dull. Like, man, let's get with the shit, man. Like, come on. Favorite scene.
Like, I missed the Fisk that was, still raw, but and when he had scenes with Vanessa, he was trying to calm her and be like, more like, you don't have to be afraid of me. I would never hurt you. Like, yeah, I may be Kingpin, but you can feel safe around me. And now it's like
he's simpy this season with her. It's like, yo, what's up, man?
I don't like that.
Favorite scene, highly like scene.
Oh man, there was so much good about this episode. Like, I was glued to it, but I would have to say the fight with Muse.
Yeah, man,
that was just
dog. But I would be on the contrarian and say it's something that wasn't even like a whole scene, but it stood out so much to me. Yo, what was up with the dude? And I definitely love the fight scene for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
But yo, the dude where I thought that scene was great, because I know I like the action, but I thought the scene was great where the sanitation dude comes in, right? And he's coming in and he's basically saying like, yo, we cleaning the walls, and it's like nothing's, this is blood. Like, we couldn't power wash the walls.
Yeah.
That whole scene, I was like, yo, this is dope, because it's looking like, Fisk is looking paranoid, like, yo, what's up? Because if you notice, the murals are getting like bigger and they're more and more antagonizing, showing like that we see you for who you are, Fisk, pretty much. So I thought that was dope how that tied into that. So to me, that was a standout scene. That's just to kind of, we ain't gonna agree on every scene, even though that's spicy. Yeah. But I'm like, yo, like that right there, because that's key. That's key right there, because I'm wondering like, yo, okay, so at that moment, I'm like, so we know Matt and Muse gonna meet up at some point. They did. Problem is, and like I said, I agree on the least favorite scene part, Fisk and Vanessa, any point. But and then of course with him talking to what was her name, Angela, White Tiger's niece or whatever. I thought that scene was pretty cool too, because I right there in that moment, I was like, oh, she getting snatched up. Muse on her, he got her. You know what I mean? And it ended up happening. Ignorant, the ladies that walked up on him, like, "Are you Muse?" Like, they were like, "What are y'all
Yeah,
doing?"
like
Like drunk, probably drunk. I was like, man, that shit was crazy. But do you feel like, or I should say, do you think this is it for Muse? Like, is that it? Ain't no
no,
way,
hell no,
dog. I
absolutely
was about to
not.
say.
No,
And do you think that he's inhuman in this series, or is he just regular like badass villain?
I think he's a regular badass villain, specially trained. I've been trying to think of who he could be because I feel like they're gonna do something that it's somebody we've already seen, possibly from the past
Mm,
Daredevil universe. Maybe
yeah,
even I was actually leaning towards I can't remember his name. It was he was either Arabic or Persian out of Iron Fist. Did that guy who was like one of the Kunlun people
I'm gonna tell you what.
uh who was
I
coming to
tapped
take him
out of Iron
back?
Fists. I ain't make it to
Okay, well
season one. I was like, what is this? What is
well
happening
I think
here?
he was in Defenders too.
Okay.
Or he might have been in Defenders. Like he was one of his brothers from the, um from that brotherhood, and he kind of like went bad, and I don't remember if he died or not, because I've also seen this actor getting a lot more jobs recently.
Word.
Like I saw him in something else, can't remember what it was called, but just like his build, the way that Muse is
Mm,
built, like his shape and everything. And then of course he could have his eyes painted a little bit
yeah, yeah,
around
yeah. That's
under the mask.
interesting, like the build, because like how you say, like he trained, like even though obviously
Yeah,
we talking about Matt, who's trained as well, who
yeah.
obviously beating the brakes off of him, whatever. But I can see that does make a lot of sense.
But
You know what I mean?
when looking at his face with the mask on, around his eyes was like it doesn't look like a white person. You know what I'm saying? They could be painted,
Mm,
but I'm leaning towards. I'm going with and I'm probably wrong, but that
I'm
what was
glad
that
you
dude's
said that.
name?
I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said that because this ties into this. Remember the scene? It was so quick in the beginning of the episode, and above it was one of the construction workers or whatever. It might have been one of the sanitation workers, and the train was going past, and it's just like they focused on the worker that was standing up there for a minute, and it was like, yo, why the camera just focused on him like that?
I didn't
But
even check that.
but guess what? He was a black dude. They focused on him, zoomed in to not a lot, but enough to where you could see that he was a black dude. And then after that, they switched to the next scene where it was like the sanitation dudes kind of trying to power wash the walls or whatever. So it make you wonder. Now that you said that, maybe Muse is black.
Sasha Dawan is the dude I'm thinking of,
Okay,
and he was where'd it go? I had it right here. Davos
but
in
I also still want to put my bread on the fact that Muse still might be that guy that walked up on the therapist to try to at the book signing.
yeah.
That little gumpy looking dude. Well, I don't know how gumpy he was, but because he was standing over and she was sitting down, so I don't know. We can't really tell. I think it could be him. But with you pointing that out, I'm like, well, shit, it could be like a person of somebody of color or whatever. That I don't know. That'd be crazy.
Mm,
Because when it ended, he didn't kill him. He just
no.
beat the slap out of him or whatever. So it's like, damn, what happens from here? Now I'm curious, like, all right, they gave us 2 episodes. We got 3 more now, right? So gotta
Did,
turn
did
up.
he scurry off when Matt was going to save Angela?
Okay, I knew I wasn't tripping because I didn't watch it the second time. I ain't had time to, but when he looked, it was like he wasn't there no more. So I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
is he over on another side somewhere that they
Nah,
angled the
I
camera
think he
differently?
scurried off.
Shit, man. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So, because I was like, yo, he ain't no way he did. They not about to like hint at this character through all these episodes like that, and then just have him killed off like that. Even though that's something that Marvel would do in the MCU, like they introduce some character like big, oh, he's unstoppable, and next, he's killed off and he's gone. Like, that happens. I hope they don't do nothing like that for Daredevil, but yeah, that's a good theory. Like, damn, maybe if that'd be wild. He a black dude, or I'm telling you, when you just go back and click on episode 6 and watch that first part, like where they're showing, like, just how they do the BB, the vlogger, where they ain't do that this time. No, yes they did, because they matter of fact, the swordsman was in it from Hawkeye was in this. Yeah. And they showed him like doing it because the dude was like, I don't know where you learned that, but keep doing it, man. We need people like that on the streets or whatever. So, but that wasn't nothing that I really tied into. I was like, whatever. I was focused on this episode clearly about Muse. And when they zoomed in, dog, I was wondering, like, when you watch it again, just that one part, let me know, because it's gonna like focus on that one. I was like, why they focusing on that character so much? You know how they just show like extras and it'd be a quick glimpse.
Yeah.
This one, they kind of lingered on it. I'm like, yo, why did they do that? Was that Muse? But I'm like, no, that dude like he was black. But the way you just explained it with the paint, everything, clearly he's masked up. Marvel race swap a lot. It could be like a black. Hell, we just saw Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That whole cast was black except Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was the opposite of Into the Spider-Verse. It's like, damn, everybody in this mug black. But yeah, that's interesting, man. Very interesting. So before we wrap it up, what do you think about this whole thing with them announcing like supposedly all the cast members of Doomsday and Secret Wars or whatever?
I don't like that shit.
Listen, man,
I don't like that shit one bit.
Marvel.
But to be fair, like if they're treating this the way that they did Infinity War and Endgame, they announced the cast of Infinity War. They let that be out there.
But they've been talking about this for well over 3 years, bro. It's on 2-3 years. Yo, we might have such and such cast. We might get this. But this looks like this. They did a live on the Marvel Entertainment page, another Marvel page. They did something on Instagram. I was seeing it all over. Literally, I was getting hit on the phone asking if I seen it. I'm like, I'm not tapping because like, what are they? I'm seeing people on their videos, like they channels like waiting, like we just waiting to hear. Like, y'all going live just to wait? Like, I ain't doing all that. Stupid. Like, then finally it comes out and they like, oh look, Robert Downey is announcing all the people. I'm like, all right, man, that's cool.
Yeah. And I get like after I thought about it, I get it because they're like if they do what I think they're gonna do, it'll be like with the
Infinity album rollout.
Where they they announce everybody in it, and then after Doomsday, we aren't gonna know shit about Secret Wars, and they're gonna be a little more tight-lipped because they gotta like build the hype for it back up to let people know, yo, like this shit is about to go down.
Yeah,
and the only real way to let you know is who's gonna be in it.
And when it happens, everybody not gonna forget about it, but you're gonna hear less talk about the supposed fails that the MCU put out from phase 4 on down. Like, man, because it gotta be good. It gotta be good. We said 15, we approaching 30, man. Let them know where they can find you at.
Peace of Mind 313 crossed everything everywhere. Even TikTok though. I'm
get on there and post, man. Get on there and post, man. Get active.
I'm gonna
get active, man. But yeah, in the meantime, hey, we don't figure that camera out. We going live anyway, even if you just on audio.
I'm okay with it.
Hey man, we gotta figure something out. But yeah, in the meantime, man, Nametag Alexander across all platforms. You can stream and purchase music. Same as social media, Nametag Alexander across the board. Tap that link in the description of the episode. Make sure you grab some merch. The Marvel of the Minds merch. It's Marvel MRVL. Y'all know why we doing that. MRVL of the Minds. Make sure you support, follow us across the socials until episode 57. Coming up on 60. It's been Marvel of the Minds. Peace.